All right, good morning, everybody. I know there will be more people joining us, so I can start with my introduction. I would ask that everybody make sure that they're muted for the time being. And we'll go ahead and kick this off. So good morning and good afternoon to our friends in Israel. Thank you for coming for this Autism Tech Demo Day. We're very excited about this. We're bringing 6 companies to you from Israel that have been doing work supporting individuals with autism and those that care for individuals with autism. And this is an area that's actually pretty near and dear to my heart. In my previous life, my previous career, I did work with individuals with autism through the Clarkston Community Schools. And I'm very excited to present these companies to you today. So you've all been invited today to share your wisdom. So once our presentations are over, you'll be able to ask a few questions, and we'll also have breakout rooms at the end of this, at the end of the presentations, for you to jump into breakout rooms and have deeper conversations with our companies today. So very, very grateful to have you share any wisdom you have, share any connections that you may have for them, feedback, offers of collaboration or continued conversations are very, very welcome. And if there's anything that MedHealth can do to help facilitate that, that's what we're here for. So you can certainly reach out to myself or Amanda Benno, who is here as part of the team, and I'll introduce her in just a second as well. You can reach out to us and we'll make sure that you get connected to these companies. So again, this is our Autism Demo Day. We are doing this in partnership with Israel-based Hack Autism and Autism Tech Investments. And welcome. Thank you for being here. So really quick, I will do a little bit of an introduction of MedHealth, and well, actually, I'll go to the schedule, seeing it's the next slide. So our schedule will run as follows. We're going to do some brief introductions. We'll start the pitches, 5-minute pitches, 3-minute Q&A. And then, as I mentioned, I know that's a short Q&A session, but we'll get you into breakout rooms where you can have longer conversations with the companies. And then we'll come back all together for a brief closing. And again, if there's questions or if there's continued conversations that need to happen and you need any assistance reaching out to these companies, Amanda and I from MedHealth are here to help. So these are the 6 companies presenting. This is not the order of presentation, and that was my mistake, so I apologize. But these are the 6 companies. We have eMaze Labs, VoiceIt, Ta'al, and I hope I'm saying that right, Poppins, Memo App, and Yalmo. So you will hear from all 6 of these companies today. So here we go, a little bit about MedHealth. And I know a lot of people in the room know who MedHealth is, but some don't. MedHealth is a cross-border collaboration that was started in 2015 to help facilitate innovation and entrepreneurship in medtech between Southeast Michigan and Southwest Ontario. Since 2015, we've continued to grow, and we continue to expand our reach to include more of Michigan, more of Canada, and also more throughout the United States, and obviously globally, because here we are today working with all of our wonderful Israel partners. And we work with innovators in a specific way where we pull them into the MedHealth ecosystem, and then we help them to find the right resources at the right time. And that could be a health system, a payer system, another economic developer, or offering from one of our entrepreneurial service providers, investors, or university programs that could support entrepreneurship as well. And we do that by connecting, convening, and educating. I'm not going to go too far in the weeds on this. I know you all can see, but we host events, roundtables, important conversations, mixers, webinars, things of that nature. And we are supported through our executive board. Prior to that, it was a steering committee. But our executive board is really what helps us steer this ship. And they provide the insight and the strategy and the development that we need to continue what we do. Deborah Livna from We Angel Network is here with us somewhere in this Brady Bunch screen today. And Deborah is a founding member of MedHealth, one of our greatest supporters, and one of our Canadian partners. So she is here today, and she is the reason we're all here today. She made the connection between Hack Autism and MedHealth and ATI. So we're very grateful, and we all thank Deborah for her participation. And Deborah, just wave, say hi, so we know who you are. Wonderful. So this is our team, our internal team, really quick. So it's myself as the Director of Med Health. We have Amanda Benno here today, who I'll ask to jump on screen and say hi if she could. We have Kristen Hoffman, who is a strategist from Public Sector Consultants. She supports all of our communication and marketing and more. And Suki Ajamal, which is a fourth-year med student who has done a lot of work in research and is a great resource to some of our entrepreneurs. So with that, I am going to, I think, let Amanda say hi if she would like to. She's going to be running the backside of all of this, and we'll be facilitating all of the movement of the day. So if you want to wave or say hi, Amanda.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Amanda Benno. I'm going to be in the background. Feel free to direct message me if you have any questions or issues with Zoom, and I'm here to support all of you. And thank you very much, Stacy, Ramon, Alona, and Deborah.
Thank you. Amanda's done a lot of work for this, so we're very grateful for her. And with that, I'd really like to turn it over to our Israeli partners who have been fantastic to work with, and we're so excited to have you here. So Ramon Tubin and Alona Snare, either one of you want to take over the screen and introduce yourselves.
Ramon will start. Ramon, we cannot hear you because you're in mute.
You hear me now? Hi, nice to meet you all. My name is Ramon Tubin, the founder and CEO of Autism. I have 22 years old son, Yuval, with autism. I left my job 3 years ago as a chief technology and innovation officer in a high-tech Israeli company to create Autism. Autism is an ecosystem of internship, innovation, and technology focusing on autism. It's founded by the love of the children to improve their life. What we have is a yearly cycle that starts with a hackathon. Just this Sunday was a hackathon. It starts with 100 venture asked to participate in the hackathon. We have 25 in the hackathon. We take the best one for our accelerator. This year is the first time, I think, in the world it's going with the academic in the College of Management in Israel. It's an academic course. After they finish the accelerator, they have a demo day. And later on, we have a greenhouse and an investor night. After 3 years, we have 42 ventures. 15 of them are ready for invest, and you have the best 6 for right now in this event. What we try to do is to double turn the number of good autism tech company. We do it by various ways. First of all, we ask for a lot more ideas by calling them to the hackathon. Later on, we have all they need to succeed, as it's written here. And if you want to contact me or ask later, I'm ready to ask you, and thank you all for being here. It's for you, Alona.
So thank you. I'll just share my screen. Okay. So good morning, everyone, and good evening for the Israeli partners. I'm Alona, and I have over 20 years experience in business development and strategy, and I'm 4 years with Ramon mentoring, volunteer mentoring in the Autism. And a few months ago, we started the Autism Tech Investment. I will show you a short presentation regarding the Autism Tech Investment and the numbers behind the autism. And I'm very excited to be part of this event. Thank you, Deborah, Stacy, and Amanda, of course, for helping us to make it happen. And I'm sure this is just the beginning. So I'll just make a short review regarding the definition of autism spectrum disorder. Is a condition relating to a brain development that affects the way a person perceives it and socializes with others, causing problems in social interaction and communication. The spectrum ranges from low functioning autism to high functioning autism. That is why the variety is huge. While some people with autism can live independently, others require lifelong care and support. It is important to emphasize here in this event that intervention at an early stage improves the level of functioning. Autism often accompanied by comorbidities like ADHD, epilepsy, sleep disorder, etc., and more. And the leading countries in the prevalence of ASD among children are Hong Kong, South Korea, and United States. In the US alone, we talk about 1 child out of 44 is diagnosed with autism. And boys are 4 times more likely to be identified with ASD than girls are. The financial side of autism can be divided to direct costs, which include therapy and medical expenses, and medical and expenses and indirect costs refer to lost opportunity, lost income. We know that about 75% of autistic adults are not employed. Mother of children with ASD would tend to serve as the child's main caregivers, are less likely to work outside the home. On average, they work with fewer hours per week and earn approximately 50% less than mother of children with no health limitation. Other indirect costs like increased stress level, change in family structure, less attention to other family members, of course, they lead to other financial costs. On average, medical expenditure for children and adults with ASD were approximately 5 times greater than for those without autism. So if we are looking about the cost of caring for people with autism in the US, it reached around 270 billion in 2015 and would raise to 460 billion by 2025 in the absence of more effective intervention and support across the lifespan. The global autism spectrum disorder treatment market is projected to grow from $1.9 billion in 2022 to approximately 3.2 billion by 2029, at the compound annual growth rate of around 70.4%. So what is ATI? ATI is Autism Tech Investment, and it's part of the Autism ecosystem that Ramon mentioned before. It is a unique platform which allows investors to invest in autism venture development technology, services, and products designated to support people on the autism spectrum, as well as their families and caregivers. Our mission is to be the world's leading platform for investors in the field of autism. The team behind the Autism Tech Investment is my partner Ramon and myself, and we have in our advisory board Tal Sharatsky. And for more information regarding our activity, you can visit our website or contact us. And now for the interesting part, we have 6 of our portfolio startups that will present their solution. And thank you again to Amanda, Stacy, and Deborah for the cooperation, and good luck to all the ventures. Looking forward for a fruitful cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you, Alona. Very grateful to be here. And we're just going to jump right in because I think we're pretty good on time. So we're going to have Yalmo come on screen, share their screen, and take it away. And once you get settled, we will get our timer going, 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Nice to meet you all. My name is Roman, and this is my son Eyal, who actually gave me the inspiration for Yalmo. And Eyal has a low-functioning autism. He's now 8, and he still doesn't speak. And when we don't understand him, it makes him angry and aggressive. The behavior of a child is affected by many reasons: how a child sleeps, how he feels, what and when he eats, which activities he does, the people around him. Every behavior has a reason. And there are many people involved in the life of disabled child: parents, teachers, therapists, neurologists, babysitters. But each of them can see only part of the picture of what is going on with the child. So currently, parents and caregivers mostly use handwritten diaries or phone messages to communicate. But all this information goes nowhere. Yalmo converts this information into measurable digital data and makes it accessible in real time for all caregivers. Yalmo collects personalized data based on individual challenges of each child and tracks and analyzes this information, making this data speak for the child that cannot speak and express his needs. Let's see how it works. At each part of the day, there is a different caregiver staying in charge of the child. And the caregiver logs the primary activities and behavior of the child during their time together, using fast and easy step on the phone application. And unlike our competitors that focus on the therapies only, we want to create the holistic data-driven approach that looks at the full picture of what is going on with the child, day and night, in the school and outside of it. And if the child is angry, hungry, or sleepy, he cannot truly benefit from the therapies. But if you know how to adjust his daily routine and make him feel better and more relaxed, we will also make the therapies much more effective. And we have several technological game changers. The first is that the data collection process is fully personalized per individual challenges of each child and is also adjusted per different caregivers' roles, like parents, teachers, and therapists. And in the future, we also want to add smart sensors that will collect information about child sleep at night and physical activity during the day. And using AI and data analysis, Yalmo will provide insight both in the individual level for each child, for example, how to optimize his daily routine or adjust his medication, and also in the group level, like how to optimize meals plan for the entire organization. And actually, there are many health and sleep and diet trackers in the market. And there are also many professional platforms for behavior and occupational therapists. And there are also systems that focus on the communication between parents and caregivers. But in Yalmo, we want to address all these challenges at the same place, creating the system that grows with the child over the years and provides insight to all caregivers, parents, teachers, therapists, and doctors, and helping them create integral and effective plan that serves the child in the best way possible. Our business model is B2B, reaching kindergartens and schools or software education providers. But the ultimate goal is B2B, becoming a standard solution for government programs. And the revenue model is based on the monthly subscription for schools, while parents use the basic features for free. Yalmo has won the Autism competition 2 years ago and also participated in the prestigious A200 Impact Accelerator. And we have a wide technological background in algorithm, data science, and software, and very strong advisory team with expertise in special education, behavior therapy, academia, and business. We already have a working application in the stores. We have submitted a provisional patent and received initial funding from the Israeli Innovation Authority, and also got approval from the Israeli Ministry of Education. And we have started running several pilots here in Israel, and we plan to launch the product in 2024 and expect the company to become profitable in 2025 after we will have more than 10,000 children actively using the system. And we are looking for partners and investors and opinion leaders that can help us expand Yalmo solution to US and Canada markets. Thank you very much for that. Any questions are welcome.
Thank you, Roman. So there is a question in the chat right now from Megan Ball, Reagan. I hope I'm saying that name right. Megan, if you'd like to unmute yourself, you can certainly ask your question, or if you prefer, I can read it for you.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, no, I was just wondering, as a child is beginning to communicate and they are hopefully able to, state how they're feeling, is that something that Yelmo would be able to incorporate the child's own data point in addition to the kind of more objective parent and teacher perspective?
Yeah, great question. So currently our target audience are young children, mainly in preschool ages with a low functioning, not just autism, but also other disabilities. So actually we feel that there's a vacuum in this specific stage. And there are additional systems that actually help child to express themselves. We want to collect all the data that not related directly to the therapy, but that can help the therapy become more effective, okay? And actually help the child speak, that the child cannot express himself. So we want to help him, actually the data speak for the child. This is our slogan.
Okay.
Thanks.
Did that answer your question?
It sure did. Thank you.
Great. We have about a minute and a half. Are there any other additional questions? Unmute, yes.
Yeah, so this is Deborah. So my question is about the money side. You said that you're going to start getting to revenue in 2025 after doing 10,000 children. Do you have expectation for revenues for if investors put money in you? Do you have any information about that?
Yeah, and in 2025 actually become to get to the break even, okay? This is the break even point. So we will start getting revenue early in 2024, but the 2025 is the break even point. And according to our estimation in 2027, we want to reach 100,000 children, and this will give us around 20 million revenue annually. Okay, so I hope if this answers your questions. Okay, great. So yes, of course, we will be glad to answer more questions in the breaking room. So you are invited to enter our room.
Wonderful. Thank you, Yelmo and Roman, for your presentation today. We'll invite Memo app to take control of the screen.
So hello, everybody. My name is Ronnie Epstein, and I'm one of the founders of Memo app, a young age dynamic startup. Although all the partners in Memo app have a lot of experience in our field.
Ronnie, we are having a little bit of a hard time hearing you.
Okay, I will speak more loudly. Is it okay now?
It's a little bit better, yes.
Yes. So we help autism and dementia patients in their challenges, such as memory problem, confusion, disorientation in time, is it day or night? They don't know what to do during the day. Their reality is not understood by them, and they become passive and need an escort. We design a personal cognitive information and communication system, guide and teach the user when and what to do, change from passive to active, and even more. And we help the caregiver guide their loved one along the way. The caregiver can upload reminders, messages, activities, drive to action, video chat. He can use a personal music and movies, therapy and cognitive multimedia, everything to empower the user, improve independence and quality of life. For the caregiver, we have a simple application for video calls and online updates. And for the user, we use smart TV or tablet. MemoApp is one of a kind personal information system, fully automatic, what we called zero touch. It's a remote access and update, multilingual, easy to use, plug and play, fully accessibility, rich multimedia tool, and as I mentioned, it's empower the users in all age. MemoApp is a powerful digital tool, help both user and the caregivers by advanced technology. We finish a long-term research with the help of HIT, the main institute of technology in Israel. We have more than 300 implementation in Israel. 100 of them are paying customers. We collaborate with hospitals such as Shiva and clinics such as Beta Shemesh. We receive some impact grant for development and research our system. And we finished the accelerator Hakaveret, Center of Social Innovation. Our business model for B2B is annual licensing, and for B2C is first payment and then a monthly payment. I'm speaking to you not from my office and not from my laboratory. I'm speaking to you from the Dead Sea. Is the most deep place in the world, and it's a good place to start our scale up. And we are seeking for collaboration and partnership, profit POC in North America, and of course, an impact investment that I will talk about it in our room. MemoApp team include experts in medical, health, and digital technology. We combine creativity, innovation, and personal care, and we have a present team of advisory board. Those are some pictures of users all around Israel, young and old, people with autism and people in dementia. So thank you all for listening, and I hope to meet you in a MemoApp room. Now I'm asking for some questions.
Are there any questions in the audience? I'm unable to see if somebody has their hand raised. So I would welcome you to speak up if you have a question.
In the meantime, you can use the QR barcode to see a wonderful movie about MemoApp.
Okay, not seeing any questions, then we will see you in your breakout room, and we invite eMaze Labs to come to screen.
Hey, good evening, or good morning, sorry. Let me just share my screen with you all. Everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Great. Looking right. Okay, cool. All right, whenever I'm ready, let's do it. So you've heard the statistics. Developmental disorders like autism, ADHD, and learning disabilities are the #1 childhood epidemic of our time. And so how long should a child with a developmental disorder wait before being able to start care? A few weeks, a month? According to recent research, it's up to 24 months. This delay can have a detrimental effect on the child and the family, mentally, physically, and financially. The answer should be from day one. However, just in the US, there are 19 million kids with developmental disorders. There is a severe shortage of trained professionals who are already limited to short one-on-one office visits and must rely on home training for true progress. They need better tools than just asking, did you do your exercises, for monitoring what's happening in between visits. And statistics on adults are rapidly catching up, for today's kids are tomorrow's adults. Over the past 2 years, we've come together, 3 friends, fathers, and professionals to solve the most burning problem in developmental disorders therapy. We created EmazeBrain, a digital online SaaS platform for healthcare providers, based on digital versions of clinical tools I use in my office for over 10 years. EmazeBrain expands the provider's toolbox and has 2 parts, a home training tool and a dashboard for monitoring and controlling the training. We designed EmazeBrain so that providers from all disciplines, sorry, my laptop just, there you go. We designed, whoops, I apologize, I have a technical difficulty here. There we go. Sorry. We designed EmazeBrain so that providers from all disciplines now have an easy and simple way to give their patients personalized brain training from day one. They get accurate real-time feedback with full control over the training plan for optimal outcomes. They can reach and help more patients and continue using it as part of their patient's home plan. EmazeBrain is very affordable, allowing providers to generate an additional revenue stream. So how does it work? When parents call for an appointment, the provider can immediately start them on EmazeBrain's home training, even if the next opening is months away. All it takes is a short online assessment. The child plays games tailored to her needs. The provider gets accurate feedback in real time and can easily adjust the training as needed. And EmazeBrain continues to be part of the home plan as they work together towards success. Now, neuroplasticity teaches us that to promote plastic long-term changes in the brain, we need specific stimuli with a high enough frequency, intensity, and duration. Our brain controls everything we do through neuronal networks. Each network is governed by a specific part of the brain. Accurately activating the brain for each person playing our games is the clinical principle that guides us as we continue to develop EmazeBrain. We've developed games for functional skills like math, emotion recognition, timing, working memory, inhibition, and more. We target specific networks by controlling parameters like background color schemes and textures, movement type and direction, and more, resulting in over 3,000 possible permutations per game, allowing a very high degree of personalization. The world is changing, and global trends of using technology and brain training are obvious. Brain rehab tools like the Aerosmith program are expanding, and brain games are being approved as digital drugs. There are many brain training tools out there. All of them target functional skills, and a few have some form of professional supervision available. EmazeBrain is the next generation of digital brain training. Our unique approach targets not only functional skills, but also specific brain regions and networks. We're developing cutting-edge game selection and AI technology for an unparalleled level of personalization and supervision. The brain training industry is growing really fast. Our business model is B2B, and our business plan will lead us to be profitable by the second half of our 4th year. Our prime customers are health centers, service providers for schools and private practitioners. Our revenue model includes monthly platform fees of $100 and monthly $10 subscription fees per patient. We estimate our break-even point at 27,000 providers with an average of 8 patients each. We've started a pilot with the Shava Association and are about to begin a paid pilot in one of Israel's largest cities. Our customers in Israel and abroad are already adding their patients who are playing our games daily, and we have submitted a provisional patent application in the US for our game selection algorithms and AI. We intend to raise $2 million to fund our growth over the next 2 years, including continued development, expanding our research, and entering the American market. We're also looking for design partners to help us conduct paid, large-scale pilots that will allow us to optimize our system through data and feedback. No child should have to wait to get the care they need, and we're here to make sure they don't need you. We invite you to join our amazing team and help us make this vision a reality. So we'll see you soon in our breakout room for some play.
Thank you, Imaz. You just hit time, so very good.
Timing is everything.
So we do have one question from Megan in the chat. She's asking for some clarity if this is brain training app or a therapy data tracking system.
This is a brain training So this is a platform for the healthcare provider. They can now prescribe it or give it to their patients as brain training. It's an online web application, so it's not a phone application. I hope does that answer the question, or?
Yep, that's perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so this is expanding the provider's toolbox. We're giving him an extra tool. This is not to replace anybody.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? And feel free to unmute yourself and jump in if there are, because unfortunately I can't see all of your hands.
Either I was really good or they didn't understand anything, one or the other.
No, I think sometimes it just takes a little bit
So-
of time to process.
I have a
Sure,
question.
Sure.
So if your end user is the individual with a disability, correct?
My customer is the healthcare provider. The person with the disability is the provider's customer.
So
So if
But
you would,
who-
he's my end user, yes. Or
So-
part of it.
your paying customer is the healthcare professional, and
Correct.
then your end user is the individual with a disability, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so
Well, again, let me rephrase that. The end user for the training is the patient, the person with the disability, but the healthcare provider is an end user of the platform.
right. So I guess my question comes from an accessibility standpoint. Are you designing UI, UX for the individual with a disability, which would look different than that of a doctor per se?
Yes, sure. So the training, the brain training, the patient gets their own dashboard with the games, and it's very simple and it's very easy to use. And the doctor or the healthcare provider, because it can also be a special education teacher, it could be an OT, it can be doesn't have to be a doctor. So they get their own dashboard that's allowing them to figure out what's going on with each patient, control the program, decide which areas of the brain or which functional skills they want to focus on, decide how often they have to do it, for how long, what the intensity level is, actually take medical notes, and actually create reminders for their users, for their patients to hop on. It's very extensive.
Okay, so
it's
I
built
think what
differently.
you're doing is amazing. I'm just always going to give pushback on accessibility. So when we're talking about accessibility, and you said it's just a computer platform, platform, where are you in thoughts of applications which will, democratize the technology more and allow for greater access to those who don't have laptops?
Sean, I'm
games.
sorry, I have to jump in. I want you two to continue this conversation, but we're at time for the Q&A. So
That's fine.
I'm gonna recommend that you guys go into the breakout room when the pitches are over, because I think you're on to something and I'd like to see that conversation continue.
Perfect.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, don't be sorry.
Thanks,
Thank
Sean.
you. All right, thank you, Imaze. We appreciate it. And then we're gonna have Ta'al, and I hope I'm saying that correctly, is going to come on screen.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Just a thumbs up from somebody.
Yes, we can.
Cool, excellent. So my name is Ilana Mushkin, and I don't think my co-founder made it, Mashia Wisat. And we are going to invite you to Ta'al, which in Arabic means to come, to join us. And the name was chosen because we want people with disabilities to join society, to join the job market. And we are, as you can understand, quite an interesting team coming from the Israeli, Jewish, and Arab populations. We can talk about that later. It's challenging. It's amazing. And if I'm ready on that track, I have to say, I want to share with you that I'm grateful every day for the opportunity to be part of what I'm doing, because the people I meet, the people that we help, it's just incredible. And I hope I can make that a little bit infectious. If you get anything out of this, I hope it's enthusiasm. So what we're talking about is the job market for people with disabilities, specifically cognitive disabilities. That would be people with autism or low IQ or developmental delay. And the numbers are really huge, like Alona mentioned. This small statistic, 50% of 25-year-olds with autism have never held a paying job. So if we're talking about 4 million adults with autism, I'm talking just about the United States, you can imagine how many people out of that would fit that category, and it's in the hundreds of thousands. Now, the most amazing statistic that I came across this week is this one, 14 million. If the employment gap in the United States alone was closed, that is the people with disabilities and without disabilities, now I'm talking about all the disabilities, if we close that, there would be 14 million more workers in the United States, which is incredible. And we're all talking about today about diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, in employment. But when we're talking about numbers like the ones I just showed you, the question is, how do we do this in a scalable way? Because to take on those kind of numbers, you have to have some kind of technological and data-driven help. Otherwise, we won't be able to meet that challenge. Now, the challenge that we're talking about depends on the stakeholder. The employees have their own challenges. In this population, it would be mostly memory, sequencing, processing new information, and always communication, which is always huge, a huge barrier. And for the managers, for the employers, it's always a challenge to employ people that they're not sure that they're training them well, they're not understanding them. A lot of the training or the management of these people is based on, or these workers is based on trial and error. We try something, it works, doesn't work. There's no data referring to how successful we've been. And if we're going to scale up, let's say we have coaches on the site that help people with the jobs, we have to scale from one coach to 5 workers, up to one coach to 100 workers. How are we going to do that? And there's always the problem of the revolving door. Workers that aren't satisfied, they leave. And the retention is very difficult. It's another challenge. So what we developed this pattern work, and I'd be happy to tell you that in the breakout room how we came up with pattern work, because that was a Corona-related pivot that we did. What we have is we have a multi-part platform. We have a CRM platform for the employers where they can upload all the tasks that they have to be done by these workers in their jobs. Okay, so we do that. We have another platform that's to create job routes for workers, either generic job routes, and then we can personalize them. And it's a very simple kind of drag and drop interface that's to make it quite easy for the managers, because again, nobody has time to learn new platforms and to spend a lot of time with that. And we have the application for the workers themselves, which tagging along what Sean was asking, this is the hardest thing that I ever developed. I've been in product for 15 years. To develop something very simple is much harder than to develop something that's complicated. And here we have an app that's been tried and tested by our workers who have cognitive disabilities. So basically what we've done here, besides the technology, is the methodology. We take tasks and we break them down to subtasks, because that's what we're talking about. Many times people, you ask them to go make a cup of coffee, they don't remember, they don't know the sequence. But if you say, okay, now take the cup and take the water and take the coffee, they know how to do it. And we can personalize it. So for somebody who can manage with the request of making coffee, that's fine. But sometimes people need to be reminded every time how to break it down, and we can make it personalized so that we don't have to it's not one suit fits all. We have the data going on, and that helps us improve our system, make more personalization, less trial and error. We can adapt the work environment. And of course, everything is also with images and sound in multiple languages, because not everybody knows how to read.
Ilana, I am sorry, but you are at time.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to jump quickly to just the slide about our growth. I just got overexcited with what I was talking about. This is a slide of our growth. And this is what we're looking for. We're looking for an investment, and we're looking for clients. I actually made it geographically specific to the people I thought were sitting here. These are the kind of clients that we would like to see. And if you can help us reach those people, we will be break even and profitable by 2025.
Thank you very much. And I apologize for running over time.
No, that's okay. And you'll be able to share additional information in your breakout room as well. So do we have any questions? And feel free to just come off mic or come off mute and ask your question. I didn't see any in the chat. Okay, with that, it looks like we will move on to Voice It then. Thank you very much.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah, one of the co-founders of Voice It. We're an Israel-based startup based in Tel Aviv, and I'm here in the US. So we have a US subsidiary as well. So we are a company with a mission, starting from a personal experience. So Voice It really has personal resonance for our founding team and many on our core team. So in my case, it was my grandmother diagnosed with Parkinson's early onset. So you can see I'm the girl with the curly hair, red dress with my family in the slide. And my grandmother was diagnosed early onset. So even as a young child, I felt her pain and frustration because it was so difficult for her to communicate even basic wants and needs. So it was communication that was really a key factor in her case. In the case of my co-founder, our CEO, Danny, it was a family member with a stroke. So in his situation as well, it was someone he was very close with that suddenly lost the ability to speak and be understood. So of course, so that's how we, our inspiration to found Voice It. Of course, what we started to understand early on is that this is a very diverse population of people with conditions affecting speech. In addition to degenerative disease and stroke, such as in our personal experiences, we learned that developmental disorders and disabilities, including cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, and of course, certain forms of autism, so people on the autism spectrum as well, who often know what they want to say, but for whatever the underlying medical condition, disorder, disability, they're not understood by the people around them. So we've built speech recognition customized for people with non-standard speech patterns. So we're the only commercial solution available today that learns the person's unique way of speaking and then can translate for them in real time. So we like to say that the best way to explain what we're doing is literally in the voices of our users. So I'll introduce you to our wonderful friend, Orit. She is very extroverted. She speaks 3 languages, but she often finds it difficult for people to understand what she's saying. So I'm going to play a snippet of her voice and try to understand what she says. She's speaking English here.
Now I can start speaking freely.
And now I'd like to show how Voice It can change her life.
Now I can.
Now I can.
Start
speaking freely.
So that's how it works. We've launched our mobile application. It's free on app stores and it works in any language. So we've been able to work with partners and disability organizations around the world. But what we started to understand with our first product is that now in a world that's increasingly voice enabled, we can do a lot more for people with disabilities and non-standard speech by opening the world of voice for mainstream product offerings. So what that means is that through our technology, someone with non-standard speech can access voice assistance and voice technology that mainstream consumers now have available to them. And of course, this can often mean people who need speech recognition the most because they may rely on human caregivers to perform tasks for them can now be a lot more independent, turn on and off a light, adjust the thermostat, as well as to connect and communicate by voice. So one of our first integrations is a little company called Amazon. We announced during the pandemic in 2020. And I'd love to show you some of the demo videos of this impactful integration. It's just the first. And among our initial testing was together with AARP. And both of these organizations are now equity investors in our company. So that leads me to a bit of our funding, and kind of part of our journey has been very creative in funding our sophisticated machine learning and speech recognition through a creative combination of equity investment and grants. Currently, among our investors are Microsoft, Amazon, AARP, and Cisco. And we've also received grants from the European Commission, Israel Innovation Authority, Bird Foundation, State of Tennessee, and others.
Sarah, you're at time.
Alrighty. So I'll just close on that. We are currently in a funding round, and we're also just a great time, amazing, exciting time of transition for our company as we move from building the technology to really creating impact in the world. So it's really exciting to be here and share with you our solution and discuss collaboration.
So thank you for that. We appreciate Voice It. We do have a question in the chat from Deborah. She's asking, how are you planning to get revenues? And Deborah, feel free to come off mute if you need to elaborate any further.
Yeah, thanks, Deborah, for that question. We have launched our app, and now it's free on the App Store. So because we launched basically at the tail end of the pandemic, we decided to provide the service to the community of people with disabilities. Our main commercial approach is selling the core technology. So we've built an API and SDK offering, and that's the integration. So for example, I mentioned some of our strategic partners. We're in discussions with many others around integrating Voice It as an accessibility add-on to their voice product. And that's our main kind of revenue generating product. We may also monetize the application, and that's something we're considering as well. But for now, it's for free on the App Store for end users to download. It includes the integration with Alexa and other and the in-person communication offering too.
Thank you. And then we have a comment from Megan, and I don't know if this is an actual question. Oh, I'm sorry, Deborah, was your question answered?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Deborah.
And we have a comment from Megan, and Megan, jump in if there's a question in here that you'd like answered too. But Megan writes that Google Home was a big part of what encouraged both of her kids, now 6 and 8, to speak, and their AI has improved dramatically. But her son with a speech impediment, it still works to get the pesky glottal G. So this is a whole bigger step, and she says, amazing.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And yeah, anyone here who'd like to try, feel free to contact me directly, and I'll connect you with our support team and get you started. Love to hear your feedback.
Wonderful. Not seeing any other questions. Then we can move to our final presentation by Poppins. Thank you.
Hi, 1 second, I'll share my screen. Okay, do you see my screen? Let me know just it's okay.
Yes, we do. Yep.
Okay, so cool. So I'll start. So hi, my name is Gilad from Poppins, which is a streaming service specifically tailored for special kids, or in short, Netflix for kids with autism. And you probably feel like asking, why do autistic children need a special streaming service anyway? And I have answers for that. But first, I'll tell you a little bit about myself and about Poppins. So in my professional life, I'm a creator and producer of animated TV shows, a content and video person, and a manager in the global media industry. But in my personal life, I have an autistic nephew. Now, these two worlds merged together about 2 years ago when I noticed that my nephew has a pattern. Anytime he sees the rolling credits of a TV show, he would stand in front of the screen as if it was the most amazing and interesting show, and he's fully absorbed like it's the best film he'd ever seen. So for his birthday, I made him a compilation of all the rolling credits from his favorite shows, only switching some of the text from the credits with happy birthday messages from the family, and he was blown away. It was actually the only present he acknowledged that day. And a day after that, Elon, that never spoke to me before, sent me the first text message ever from his mom's phone. And it was so strange that in such a simple way I was able to create communication that I had to dig deeper into it. So we started talking with therapists and researchers and families and individuals with autism, and again we came across a pattern that amazed us, because we understood that the video diet of children with autism tends to be different and distinct. On the one hand, each child has its own way, but on the other hand, there are patterns that emerge, because one sees only shows for toddlers even though he's a teenager, or others just watch animation, and others prefer low-resolution images like VHS style, and many others like movie titles or elevator rides or trains. But since they repetitively watch the same videos again and again, they are missing on many learning opportunities. So this is where the idea was born. It was a special video solution for special children, with both relevant content and a remarkable user experience. So with a team I know and appreciate, we raised $180,000 as pre-seed and set out to build our first product, which was a visual accessibility tool. So here is an example of our accessibility tool implemented in CAN 11, which is the Israeli PBS channel. And we are actually addressing sensory and color preferences, attention and focus assistance, and empower the users to choose what way of looking at video is the best for them. And we try to offer this product to broadcasters, but their incentive was too low at this stage, and the sales cycle was very long. So we decided to build Poppins. Instead of selling filters to Netflix, just compete with Netflix. And we've cherry-picked from around the world hundreds of shows and content that are enriching, entertaining, accessible and trigger-free, just fun and educating content for sensitive children. And with original shows and formats like softly whispered classic books, or teaching daily life skills from hygiene to how to use the public transportation, or teaching about the mystery of feelings. And on top of that, Poppins also delivers actionable insights for parents and caregivers, so they can learn more about their children and communicate better online and offline. In pilots with autism experts, we discovered that the concept works, increasing attention, exploration, and even communication. And now we are actually raising $2 million that will be enough to set up the platform, complete the team recruitment, 12 in total, and purchase customized content, produce original shows, and marketing until we reach break even. The service is initially intended for the American market in English, with a subscription fee of $9 per month. And the model allows us to turn to profit with 33,000 subscribers, which reflects less than 2% of the market. So in the US, there are actually hundreds of streaming services with niches like horrors or musicals or anime or Asian soap operas and even dog TV. And each of them serves a specific niche. So back to the question, why is a special streaming service for autism is required? It's actually for the same reason that there are plus-size clothing stores or stores for lefties, simply because there's a need. You are welcome to scan the QR code and try the accessibility tool yourself. Thanks.
Thank you very much. As somebody who used to work with students with autism, the movies are a big part of their life. And there are certain parts where it's a repetitive rewind. So I
Yep,
think my
exactly.
question would be, and I want to make sure I understood fully, is I think the question would be, can they bring specific things into the app? So for example, a student that loved My Little Pony, can we pull those, or is it what, or are they just using what's there?
At first, it's a closed platform with content that we curate specifically for them, but these are all popular TV shows that they love and know. That's exactly the thing with the broadcasters, because after we get the demand, we will be able to go back to the broadcasters and have it implemented on everywhere, the same as web accessibility. And then it will be open for everyone to watch on every content.
Wonderful, wonderful.
But
Thank
we
you
have
so
to
much.
start with our own platform.
Understood. So I think there is a question from Megan. She said, genius. We have development programs, credits for this in Ontario. If there are no ads, but parents would subscribe.
Of course, no ads, because it doesn't. It's exactly the opposite of what we're trying to serve, because ads are served to autistic viewers on YouTube. Thank you. It's a waste for everyone, for the viewers, for the advertisers, for everyone. YouTube doesn't know who's autistic, who isn't, but we do.
Do we have any other questions in the room? Okay. Well, we're pretty well on schedule here. So a good pat on the back to all of you for presenting. We're very grateful for the presentations. Fascinating companies. I am gonna see if we're ready to start some breakout rooms. And Amanda's nodding. Wonderful. I'll wait until we get everybody else in the room, though. We did have a few people that had issues getting in and missed some of the presentations. We have recorded this session, so I would, and this can be a follow-up email as well, but I'd like to make sure that it's okay to share these recordings with individuals. And we don't have recordings of the breakout rooms, it would just be of the pitches. To share those with some of the people that had registered that had some issues getting in or weren't able to make it today. And I think everybody's coming in back into the room in just a minute for a quick closing.
Yep, I believe all of the breakout rooms should be closed.
We've got everybody back. Okay. I just want to thank everybody again for being here today. I know we lost a few people, and I that happens. But I'm going to drop my email in the chat so that if anybody wants to make a connection with somebody that was here today, you can reach out to me and I will happily get you connected. I want to thank Alona, Ramon. I want to thank Deborah for bringing us all together. I want to thank Amanda for all the technical support that she provided to do this and made it possible. Really thank our Israel. I think somebody needs to be put on or is off mute. But really great companies, interesting work that you're doing, and I hope that we can continue conversations and make sure that we have the right connections for you folks going forward. Are there any questions before we close this out? All right, let me drop my email in the chat.
Yeah, thank you, Stacy and Amanda and Deborah, of course. And if you need any connection, like Stacy said, then you can approach to Raymond or to me, and we will ask Stacy or Amanda or Deborah just to make the connection. So you will get or the opposite. If you need it, you can call directly to Stacy or Amanda, and they will give you the details of the contact person.
Thank you so much, Alona. This was really great to do this, and I'm super proud of the work that's being done all over the world to make life easier and better for folks. So hopefully some connections will come out of this, hopefully some valuable feedback. And Alona and Ramon, we have to do this again. We have to continue to collaborate.
We will be happy to do that.
Wonderful.
It was a pleasure to work with you.
We'll set some time to do an after conversation, and really thank you again, everybody. We're right at time. So wishing you all a wonderful Thursday, and we'll all be in touch.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.